the tales.
I'm Jeremy Greer.
And I'm Gary Butterfield.
And welcome back to Days of Future Cast, the podcast where Gary and I talk about all things X-Men. And we're back after a pretty lengthy hiatus. Thank you for sticking with us if we're still in your RSS feeds. Very much appreciate y'all doing that. And if you know folks that maybe deleted us or changed apps, then go back to them and tell them, hey, Days of Future Cast is back. Because we're back. We're back,
time.
Baby.
We're back big time, baby. We've never been more back.
We've never been more back. We're good.
And speaking of baby having back, we're talking about a 4-issue Wolverine arc. Here we're starting our thing. We are changing the format. If you listen to our the episode right before the hiatus, we're switching to weekly. Short, same amount of content, just weekly, just for rhythm and dependability.
Yeah.
And we were kind of casted about for something to do. I'm gonna admit, I just kind of chose something I remembered liking.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing a 4-issue arc on Wolverine from the mid 2000s by Jason Aaron called Get Mystique.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kind of the post Hope era. Like Hope has been born, and Cyclops is still kind of a dick, but he hasn't gone full dickhead and killed.
They haven't
yet.
schismed.
Yeah, there's no schism.
Yeah, they haven't schismed. They're on the prelude to a schism.
Yes.
Oh my god, I'm about to schism.
Oh god.
It's
just like Maynard
they're
James
edging to
Keenan. I'm
schism.
about to schism.
Yeah. This is right after Messiah Complex.
Yes, that was the one I was looking for. Yeah.
Yeah. If you remember, Mystique screwed over the team in that big confusing crossover that we talked about. And this is Wolverine was kind of in this comic was in this weird little holding pattern because Mark Millar was going to come on and do Old Man Logan, which you've also done. That comes immediately before this, but they had 4 issues just to do something in it. And they gave, at the time, relatively new to X-Men writer Jason Aaron a chance. And we talked about Jason Aaron a lot. We have mixed feelings about him. Neither of us are super big fans of Wolverine and the X-Men, which is his flagship book and the one that people like the most. But I have read a bunch of his Wolverine, and I generally like his voice of Wolverine solo.
Yeah.
I think he does a pretty good job with that.
I think having read these 4 issues, which, it's issues number 62 through 65 for those out there reading along at home. And obviously 60 issues into a series, right? We're it's probably missing some context for some stuff, but feels like a self-contained story. I think he did a good job. I have some complaints about the way this thing is structured, but it might be, I'm curious if you have the same feeling because it could be just my own pet peeves, but we'll get into it as we go through. So
yeah, it's definitely something that I remembered liking this a lot. I read this contemporaneously with it because the X-Men blog I read, which is called the X-Axis, Paul O'Brien really liked it. His whole thing was reviewing every X-Men comic. He still does that through a different blog now. But I was keeping up with that, and he was just like, no, this is actually really good. And for the time, this was really excellent.
Yeah. Actually, I think it kind of holds up. I don't have a lot of complaints.
It doesn't hold up horribly. No. It's not quite as it was pretty revelatory when I first read it because it was action paced and good handle on the voice. And this is coming off of several weird Wolverine arcs, a long Greg Rucka run where it was very serious and Wolverine didn't appear in most of the comics. And then
strange.
a really bizarre one that kind of retconned Wolverine that when he gets really hurt, he actually dies and has to make a bargain with the devil or fight his way out of hell or something like that.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
To heal something real stupid. So this was a real breath of fresh air in 2008 or whenever this came out. It wasn't 2008. I can't remember when it was. But when this came out, there's a real breath of fresh air. As is, it doesn't hold up quite as good. It doesn't feel modern exactly, but it's a pretty good comic, I think.
The copyright on this says 2017, but I don't...
That's not true.
Yeah, the series is definitely 2008. So this would be 5 years later, probably. So probably 2013, if I had to guess, 2014, somewhere in there. But yeah, I feel like this avoids a lot of the early aughts problems that we have with comics, right? We don't get into a lot of this, and it actually deals with some this could be a lot worse considering it's set in the Middle East. As we're dealing with a huge humanitarian crisis in the Middle East right now. What I realized what this was based in, I was like, please don't let this be. Don't let him.
We didn't plan
Yeah, not
that
at
as
all.
well.
No.
This was what we were going to do next pre-hiatus, and then the world went to hell.
And then World War III almost started. So we're but also like again, just saying like when I opened it up, I'm like, Gary, what the fuck did you do? What are you making me read?
Yeah.
And then like as I'm finishing it, I'm like, okay, so this didn't go into like really any of that stuff at all. So we don't really have to. And I think it's smart to avoid that because it's a fucking superhero comic, right? Like,
well, you don't want Wolverine Holy Terror or whatever that Batman book is where he goes and fights Al Qaeda.
Yeah,
the Islamophobic Batman book. You know, Logan Holy Terror. This is not that.
I heard Wolverine didn't cry on 9/11. Do you think that's true? I know Dr. Doom did, but did Wolverine
Dr. Doom
cry?
did. Wolverine, I would be a little bit upset if he cried because he's been through a lot.
Yeah.
Wolverine, more than everybody, so something that I think is bad to do, but people get in a habit of doing online is like comparing tragedies, having like tragedy offs.
Yeah.
Wolverine would have to do that because he's seen all of them. So like that would 9/11 happen, it'd be a big deal to him. But also like dude was alive during the Holocaust.
Yeah. So like he would look at that and be like, this is like 1 point.
Seen bigger, bub.
This is 0.26 Holocaust, says Wolverine about 9/11.
Yeah. Yeah, like this sucks, obviously, but it's just it's the price of the game.
Wolverine on CNN. They cut to him right after Kanye West. This sucks, obviously, bub.
Bub, but the art in this arc is by
just picturing getting Wolverine's opinion about like the Katrina catastrophe, right? Like just cutting to Wolverine.
They should have him like a cut to Wolverine segment for most things.
I don't think they should rebuild, bub.
Even if they're not major tragedies, they should just like. I would like to have a Wolverine's corner in the news, just generally.
Absolutely,
you know, like the dominoes are falling on Trump, bub. He's guilty in Georgia.
He violated a gag order, bub.
Like I'd gag him. I'll gag. Snicked. You know. Art in this art is by Ron Garney, also the artist for portions of Messiah Complex. Little bit of a jobber artist from the mid 2000s,
but I think it's good. Like I don't think it's spectacular.
He does a fine job. Yeah, it's workmanlike is what when I say jobber. Just like he's not bad. It's house style of the time.
And I am 100% okay with considering some of the bad stuff that we've gone through, like the illegible stuff. If you're making it so I can understand what people are doing, it's very good. So
you 100% can in this.
Yeah. The cover is just Wolverine kind of being angry, and then like Mystique wrapped around his
piggyback
back.
Ride.
Yeah,
yeah. He's giving the angriest piggyback ride that's ever been.
I would also be angry if Mystique was like, free piggyback. Well, like, no.
He's 5 foot tall.
Yeah.
Like, he shouldn't be giving anybody a piggyback.
Why don't you transform into Puck, and then we'll have a question.
Yeah.
we'll have a party. I mean.
Then we'll have a ride, all right?
So we're gonna start out in the 1920s, 1921 to be exact, where Wolverine has been captured by I guess like Mexican soldiers, and we don't really know why, that they're just beating his ass, and they're going to string him up in front of a firing squad along next to Mystique, who is blindfolded so can't see him, and they very quickly
blindfolded as well.
Yeah, and quickly realizes like, oh, like we're, my skin. She says something about like my skin being the wrong color. He's like, oh, you're a black person, and she says, no, it's something totally different from that, and he realizes like, oh, I'm standing next to a mutant. And he like they say fuego, which very curious if that's the actual term that they use, because
for using a firing squad.
Yeah.
Like,
did you have that thought too? Like I don't really know Spanish. I should ask Autumn, but I was just curious if that, because I don't know.
It does mean fire, but I don't know if they would still say fire.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the question that I have. Yeah.
And Wolverine's got a little smirk. Something's going on, and Mystique notices this. Like, you don't seem worried. They do the shot, and then we cut to the present.
Yes.
Here.
And we see Wolverine in the classic yellow costume rolling up into Afghanistan. There's some kids in his way, and he is demanding to know where Mystique is. And we get this great cover page, or this great splash page, where he's claws out, grab this child by the neck and screaming at him, where the hell is Mystique, with the big "Get Mystique" at the banner at the bottom, looking like a
they do those. Those are real fun.
Yeah.
In each of these issues, the Get Mystique.
I love them. Look like a 2001 internet ad, man. It's great.
It's very much. Jason Aaron is good at these really pithy titles. I read the first couple issues of his Hulk run, and the concept, it's called "Stay Angry!" And it's Hulk trying not to turn back into Bruce Banner, so constantly trying to be pissed off the entire time, and it does the same trick.
Excellent.
Stay angry, like after a couple pages into it. He leaves the kid alone as adults come and try to stop this mysterious yellow dressed guy from menacing their children who are just gathering sticks. And he sees a woman in a burqa, and he smells her and assumes it's Mystique. Everyone freaks out because he's threatening her, and he stabs her,
Murders her.
and kills her.
Yeah.
Murders her. This is not Mystique. This is a weird little bit of characterization here.
Yeah, this will throw you off your game a little bit, because I was like, man, this is interesting. And
this doesn't seem like Wolverine.
And obviously, like, we're going to learn pretty quickly. Like, I should have known from the jump that this was not Wolverine. We jumped to 3 days earlier, and I'm just going to go ahead and get this out of my system now. I don't mind. I don't mind a double parallel, or excuse me, a like double timeline story, even like a triple timeline story, right? Like, I don't mind like present, past, and like middling future. Like, narratively, like that can work for you all day long. What really
Your powers of X or what have you?
Yeah. Like I think you could do some really creative stuff with that. Where it begin, and this could just be a pet peeve of mine, and I'm curious how you feel about it. Where it gets irritating to me is this, like where we go 3 days earlier. I can't remember if it's in this issue or the next issue where they're like 10 minutes earlier, and the only time you should be doing 10 minutes earlier is when you're doing like a fun twisty heist, and we didn't really do any of that. Like they kind of fainted at a heist, but they really didn't. It wasn't like a fun twisty like surprise thing.
Yeah.
So doing like a 3 days earlier thing is just fucking irritating to me, to be honest with you.
They probably and they also just did it. Like they did it with the firing squad.
So within 12 pages, we have 3 different timelines, one of which is 3 days apart.
It's a little silly because the firing squad one is cool because it's suspense, right? Like they do shoot the bullets, we don't see what happens. This one is just setting up the situation, and it's not doing it in a particularly dramatic way. Wolverine just says, tell me where Mystique is, or you're gonna need a lot more baddie bags or whatever. And then we just cut over to Cyclops on the beach.
Yes.
In full uniform, staring at birds.
Cyclops on the beach is my favorite shot to do at the local bar.
It's my favorite Camus story, and it's weird they built a shot based after it. But he's staying there, and this is just where we get the setup. This is very perfunctory and just setting it into current X-Men continuity.
Yeah. And I think that's what's irritating about it, too, is like we could have just like, I don't know, like he could have just remembered this. Like I don't think we had to do like a 3 days earlier thing. So it just
no.
Yeah.
It also could have taken place. This could have been a floating timeline thing.
Sure.
Wolverine, like the comic, will oftentimes, I mean, just like Old Man Logan did, right? Like that doesn't take place in the current continuity. It's just a Wolverine story.
Exactly.
And Wolverine solo books are pretty good at that. This could happen in any time by making it the consequences of Messiah Complex and ending with this ambiguous end for Mystique, who we know doesn't die, because we've seen it, it just kind of like ties it in limply a little bit. There's a little bit of development here with, so Cyclops is saying like, hey, after Mystique fucked us, go grab X-Force and kill her, and he's like, I don't need X-Force. And Cyclops, are you sure you know what I'm talking about? Talking about killing. And Wolverine's like, yeah, man, I'm going to do it. I don't need my team. I don't need anything. I'm going to go kill her. We have a history. You know? And this is going to get into this. The two parallel stories lines in this that work are the current hunt for Mystique and telling the story how Wolverine and Mystique first met.
And they do like they do a joke here because Cyclops is like, well, how are you ever going to find her? She could be anywhere. And he's like, are you kidding me? Give me 9 hours. And then like it cuts to 8.5 hours later, and I'm fine with that. That's a good joke. But like once we get to the point where we're like 10 minutes ago, I'm just like, okay, dude, just write the fucking comic.
It's a little
like,
silly.
What are you doing?
Yeah, it's a little silly.
Now Wolverine is in Iran, and he has found a mosque he's traced Raven, aka Mystique, to a mosque. He grabs the dude that she is disguised as and starts pulling him outside, and of course everybody fights him. This is almost exactly like what happened in the opening scene, except this time this dude slips away, turns into Mystique, and she blows it up behind her, presumably like killing a bunch of people. Like, this seems real shitty even for Mystique.
Mystique's a real monster in this.
For real,
like,
man.
Wolverine's not great, but Mystique is real awful there. And she runs away. Wolverine has to spend all of his time rescuing people from a burning mosque.
Yes.
there.
I love it when you get little cuts in Wolverine's hair and his hair sticks out. Like I love that as a thing. I think it's very cute.
It makes it look like grass on the sidewalk.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like growing in the sidewalk.
Grass on the field, Gary. The Wolverine's in play.
I'm in play, bub. So he evacuates everybody. He says, we're going to have a little chat, and we cut back to the firing squad.
Yep.
Where Wolverine is taking some bullets, but beating the crap out of everybody.
Yes.
There with their own guns, killed everybody. And Mystique is like, holy shit, you are alive.
Yeah.
You made it. This is your ace up the sleeve.
I like how this is the 1920s and Mystique is like kind of bimbo-fied gunslinger outfit right now. And I'm very here for it. Like, I'm very like, go off.
Sexy paleontologist from Jurassic Park.
Sure, yeah.
Kind of like
I
sexy
guess
neither
one of us just want to say Lara Croft, right? Like she's basically Lara Croft with blue skin at this point, yeah.
It is the biggest titty that Mystique has ever become.
Sure.
And Mystique has control over that, like complete control over that. And this is just absolutely big natural Mystique.
Now that I'm like 40 and have aged and matured in my life, I've realized like a Mystique, if you had that power, like I don't think any woman outside of very specific circumstances would ever just walk around with the triple G's, right? Like there would be no way. Absolutely no way.
Once you meet somebody who lives like that, like there are people who are 100, I don't want to body shame anybody, and there are certainly people who are like way into their milkers, but it causes a lot of problems. It's inconvenient, uncomfortable, bras are uncomfortable, causes back pain and stuff. I've known people who have gotten reduction surgery.
Same.
Specifically, for back stuff. Mystique, I mean, she also has a mutant back. So maybe she's like reinforcing her spine with mutant powers. I don't know. There's probably a handbook about it.
Hold on, let me pull out my 1990s trading cards and let me figure out what her weaknesses are.
If we subscribe to Marvel Unlimited Plus, we actually get the comics that explain this.
That's the one that just gives you an open chat to Jason Aaron, so you can just ask him questions anytime he wants to. So she's doing the thing. She's ingratiating herself with Wolverine, right? Like, let's go to the bar. I'll buy you some mezcal. I've got some friends in Kansas City that could hang out with you, and it works. He's kind of like grudgingly going to go along. And then we skip ahead to the present, which the comic book doesn't tell you until the last panel, which is also irritating to me. I promise I will stop talking about this at some point. We're back in the yellow suit. This is Wolverine walking into the village and seeing this dead woman that we just saw Wolverine kill. And then, of course, he starts yelling for Raven because he can smell her. And we see Raven still shapeshifted into Wolverine, like hiding behind the corner, smiling. And we kind of get this like cool thing where the villagers like arm themselves up with the AK-16s. This feels quasi-racist, by the way. Like we're collecting sticks and then all of a sudden they have like AK-16s. Like whatever. Yeah.
This is a little mid 2000s. But that opening panel, Wolverine didn't just kill somebody randomly. Mystique created plausible deniability to frame Wolverine. Is what happened.
Yes.
So they're all getting their guns. Wolverine says, come on out, I'll make it quick. And this is when all of the guys with the guns draw on him.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I think, you said we need a lot of body bags. I think we'll just be needing one. And Wolverine didn't hear the setup for that. so some guy just came out and put a gun and just said, I think we'll just be needing one. He's like, what the hell are you talking about?
What?
Man?
Is that,
I just got here.
This feels like a Jerry Seinfeld episode. Are we doing something here? Is this a bit? I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, I just got here, bro.
I do like the last panel on this is Mystique like in the shadows, and her face is all hidden, but you can see like her bright
big
glowy eyes and then her stupid grin, and I love it. I think that's so cool. I like demon-esque Mystique quite a bit. So
one of the things she wears a skull belt. She should be doing demon shit. One of the things I like about this is that this, like the Mystique miniseries that is semi-contemporaneous with this, that I have a soft spot for as well, the Brian K. Vaughan series, is that it does a really good job of showing why Mystique's powers would be scary and effective.
Mm-hmm.
It would suck. Like she could do a lot of stuff. Like it seems like it's very, a non-offensive power, but like she'd be a pain in the ass to hunt.
Yes, absolutely.
This would be very difficult.
It's a good thing that he can super smell, because otherwise, like you're just kind of screwed.
You'd be fucked.
So if you didn't hear it, right before the hiatus. We mentioned this at the beginning of the episode, but we're going to change our format a little bit. So we're getting shorter episodes, one issue per episode, but you're going to get one every week. So this is the end of this episode. And we would like to thank all of you for listening, for sticking with us. We want to especially thank all of the patrons over at patreon.com/Duckfeed.tv for continuing to support us and the network. You get some cool benefits over there. Please go check out those pages. You get all kinds of exclusive content. And it's just, nowadays, it's just like a whirlwind of stuff. Like I still have like the main host feed or whatever on my phone, and it's just like every day there's like 3 podcasts, and I'm like, how the fuck are these guys doing this all the time?
We put out a lot of stuff.
It's impossible.
Coming up soon, Real Lich Hours, our Baldur's Gate 3 podcast. Very excited about that. And then save the date. If you're just the Days of Futurecast listener and don't listen to other shows, December 1st through 3rd, Duckstream 2023. It's got to be our 9th or 10th year doing it. Same deal as before. Look out for more information. It's real weird that our 48-hour live stream has now become blasé, where I'm just like, we'll just do it.
We're just gonna do it.
It's happening. Just check it out. But go check it out. It'll be real fun. We'll raise some good money for a good cause, Trans After Gender Project out of Lewis and Clark.
It's going to be extremely exciting. Always a huge time. I think I'm going to be trying to do some streaming. We'll have to nail out those details, but I have something. If we can work out the schedule, I have something I think that would be awful to watch, which I think is the goal.
Yes.
You can donate money to make me stop. That's going to be the goal.
Yes.
So, thank you everybody for listening, and we'll be back next week with more Wolverine.